Hi guys, I am here with another true story from our book When God Winks at You. So let's see what this one is called, guys. Alright, The Incredible, Unbelievable Call. Alright. Uncertainty was pressing on Ken Gobb. Self-pity enshrouded him. "What do you want with me, Lord?" he silently demanded, as the family's two Silver Eagle motor coaches traveled along I-75 somewhere near Dayton, Ohio. Ken's two sons were driving, keeping in touch with a CB radio. The rest of the family members were snoozing, reading, or lost in their own devices. "Let's make a stop at that exit," radioed one son to the other. The Gobb family was a traveling ministry, covering 50,000 miles a year, taking their family entertainment act into churches, schools, and on the back roads of America. Schools? How long ago was this? They won't let you do that anymore. Ken was feeling tired, unsatisfied. "Where am I, Lord?" He wondered about his purpose. Couldn't we serve you better by staying put, making a lot more money to support other ministries? Lost in thought, Ken was almost unaware that the family had decided to take a break and had pulled up to a small town diner. "You go ahead," he said to the others. "I'm just going to stretch and take a walk." He crossed through a gas station, walking past an empty phone booth. Suddenly, it began to ring. He stopped. I remember this now. I read this story in another book. He stopped, looked around. It kept ringing. He started to step away. He paused again. What if it's for the gas station attendant, he thought, looking around for someone who might be the target of some unknown caller. Maybe it's an emergency. That consideration caused him to step into the booth. "Hello? I have a person-to-person call for Mr. Ken Gobb," said the operator. Out there in another state, out of nowhere, in a random phone booth. The call was for him. "What?" said Ken, instinctively furrowing his brow and looking around for the candid camera TV crew that surely must be lurking somewhere. With a fake telephone operator calling an empty phone booth, trying to trap him looking silly by asking for him. "Calling Ken Gobb," repeated the operator. "You're crazy," he retorted, once again doing a 360 scan for the hidden cameras. Less patiently, the operator asked, "Is this Ken Gobb?" "Yes. I have a person-to-person call for you," she said, with the tone of a teacher scolding a child. "I believe that's him," said another voice on the phone, a woman's voice. Now Ken was really curious. If this were a setup, it was a really good job. "Go ahead," said the operator dismissively. "Mr. Gobb, I saw you on a TV show, the 700 Club." That's a Christian show, said the woman with a quick nervousness. "I'm Millie. I live in Harrisburg, and I remembered your name and wrote it into a letter I was writing. A suicide note." The woman began to cry. Ken was puzzled. "You don't know me, but I'm desperate. I remembered you, and a phone number came into my mind to call you. Thank you so much for taking my call." "This was no joke," concluded Ken. "How did you get this number?" he asked, shaking his head. I don't know. It just came into my mind while I was writing. Is this in your office in California?" "Ma'am, my office is in Washington, but that's not where I am. Where are you?" she sniffled. "Millie, you called me. I'm in a phone booth at a gas station in Dayton." "Oh, what are you doing there?" "Answering the phone," he said with a chuckle, beginning to enjoy the experience. "Can I talk with you?" "Yes, of course." For the next 10 minutes they talked. Ken assured her that the Lord was watching over her, that her worries were only temporary, that turning to God was the only answer. In Him she would find peace, for after all He had already led her to Him. Saying goodbye, Ken took a seat on a stone wall by the gas station. For several moments he contemplated the power of the God wink he and Millie just had experienced. Was this a message of hope for her or a message of hope for me? I think for both. He silently asked the Almighty. Across the asphalt driveway he saw his wife and the others emerging from the diner. "Hey, Barb," he shouted, giddy and with delight. "Hey, God knows where I am." So many times over the years, Ken Gobb has revisited that personal, life-changing God wink. "I don't believe it. And it happened to me," he says. "What are the astronomical odds that I would get that call from Millie?" Time after time he has reflected on how that experience not only stopped Millie from taking the irreversible step, killing herself, but also how, from that day on, all the uncertainty about his purpose in life was suddenly lifted from his shoulders. God helped two people in the middle of nowhere, basically. Ken also recalls that a few months later, after the family performed in Harrisburg, a smiling woman came up to him and said, "Hi, I'm Millie." Funny, she looked pretty much as he imagined she would. There was a few phone calls and a letter communications, and then Ken lost touch. She was no longer listed in the Harrisburg directories. She must have moved away, but who knows? Maybe she'll call again sometime. Probably like you, I have saved certain notes from people through the years that gave me a lift. I have one from a boss at a big radio station in Boston, where I had my first producing job. In a handwritten note he said, "Nice going on Sunday's show." That's all, 5 words on a small piece of paper. But that note gave me the reassurance that I was doing okay, and I was performing up to par, that he noticed and appreciated my work, that gave me hope, and hope was the fuel that propelled me onward to work even harder. You have no doubt received a complimentary comment from someone that did the same for you, gave you a boost, lifted your spirits, and made you feel good. How about doing the same for someone today? Think what a lasting value your comment will have, particularly in years from now. Your hope note still exists in someone's shoebox of memorabilia. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night.